Hello, guys, and welcome to Saturday night. It's our quarantine show. We are live here from, well, I'm from Kossuth Studios. Gavin's from, I don't know where he's from. Do you have a name for your studio?
Yeah, TerraTech Industries headquarters. That's where I'm at right now, my friend.
Those are sand samples in the background you see?
There's sand everywhere.
Even where sand shouldn't be.
That's right.
That's why he walks like that.
So I guess that's my intro then. Is that
yeah, that's all you get tonight.
We're talking about sand in my crevasses. Well, I'm grateful for everyone to be here this evening, folks. And as I always say, make sure you hit like and share or start a watch party. And since this is a you show, once Todd puts out that link, you can actually join us in the chat. Join us in the room and join us virtually as we discover Behind the Bunker on Quarantine Saturday night.
Yeah. It looks like I have managed to put the address in the description of the video, but I will see if I can put it in the live chat as well and pin it. Joe, what about you? What's new with you?
Not much. I was at the outdoor field today doing some work. As people may have seen on the internets, I'm clearing out a storage unit that I've had for several years, and I've uncovered lots of different treasures. And today's and yesterday's treasure were PMI tracers. So if anyone's interested, contact me directly on Facebook and I will sell you a tracer, maybe, if I have any, and maybe a USI hopper. And I also uncovered this bag. I had this USI bag made by USI, Eddie from USI, I believe that's his name. Anyway, I unzipped it today and I looked inside, and it's like a treasure trove of the 90s. It's got a Woodstock mask in it. It's got a 68 special in it. It has a JT armband. It has a Woodstock mask. It had my original olive green 7-ounce tank with a Oakley factory pilot sticker on it, and a brand new another 7-ounce CO2 tank, olive green, and a brand new IDEMA combat tank holder. And then I had a Ziploc bag full of about 25 cam sticks. That's face paint, incidentally, in case you don't recall. So I had those. It's pretty neat.
Okay, so that was a tank holder from the IDEMA. I thought it was a squeegee holder at first when I looked at it.
No, it's a 7-ounce tank holder from my IDEMA combat.
Okay, I still liked it, and now that I know what it is, I'm gonna like it again.
It's pretty crazy. So anyway, I'm in my studio, underneath in my lower bunker. The lights are off. In Suburbia, on Suburbia Avenue. 1600 Suburbia Avenue.
Nice.
So we're good to go.
And it looks like we have a couple people joining us here. We have Effie back for another one, the Terrible Turk. Nice. We have Wes Shockley back in the house. And we have Brandon, the Very Quiet Page. How are you, sir?
No, I'm not. Lies, filthy lies.
Where are you? Why do I hear people in the background? Are you social distancing?
Yes, I'm at House Survivors, baby. It's global conquest.
How many people are there?
We are 300 strong, I think, if not more.
Wow.
So,
nice.
We're having a great time. We really are.
Can I ask a question? And I'm not going to be the wet blanket, but how are people social distancing out there? Are they, or is it kind of just been blown to the wind?
We are. I mean, you got to be close to sometimes. But I mean, you got Roger here.
Hey, people. What's going on?
Hi, Roger.
Roger Wyber.
Thank you. I know who you are, Roger.
We got.
Hey.
Hey.
So yeah, we're all here. We're having a good time. We just had dinner. But I mean, we are. I mean, it's so hot and sunny, and you cannot have a game like this and not be around everybody. So,
right.
Well, good for you. We only ask because we're not like we're well behind what you guys are right now. We're not able to open yet, so we're just kind of living vicariously through you. So,
I gotcha. So you're envying us then?
A little bit.
We only have 5,000 deaths.
I see you have your pandemic haircut going right now.
I do this myself. I've actually been doing this for a few years now.
Looks like it.
$15 at Great Clips, but I'm doing it for free.
Yeah. Nice. So the game is going okay?
Yeah, 7 teams. We're having a good time. Like,
Weather's been good. Solid weather.
look at this. You can't ask for anything better.
No, that's true.
Okay, so Brandon, I'm going to have to ask you, was this your first game out since COVID?
No, we did grand opening at House Survivors back in May. But yeah, this is the big game. And again, we're having a great time. Feels like
Excellent.
never even left. So
Nice to connect with family again and shoot some people in the face.
it's definitely been something mentally, like to actually see people not on video. Like it's awesome. It really.
You
is.
do exist. Wow.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Well, thank you for joining in tonight. We also have James checking in. And speaking of James, sorry to hear about your field, my friend. Yeah. He plays at the mime field. There we go. Joe, what did you have to say about Vaughn Paintball today?
Well, after much deliberation, Alex Medina and his partners that have been running VEP Paintball for 10 years, and Alex has been in the industry since '86 as a player. They've decided because of COVID and uncertain opening times that they are ceasing operations. So we are down one field in Ontario currently. It's a sad time. Alex ran a fantastic operation, and we consider them, his field to be an affiliate field of Flag Raiders. It's sad for them to go, but if anyone's looking for any equipment, he's got some great FT12s, FT50s, all kinds of accessory items, stuff that you need for a field. Reach out to Alex Medina on Facebook or Vaughn Paintball on Instagram. And if you're needing anything for your field, look him up and see what you have. He's also got a fantastic wicked fill system with some bulk tanks as well. So that's all available. He has sold some of his things off, but the rest he's working on. So sad news for Alex, who ran a classy operation and was an all around good guy. But it is, this is taking its toll on many businesses. It's not just paintball. It's sort of it's a global phenomenon. So as long as everybody's healthy and well, I think, you can get more businesses as well. So Alex, to you.
Absolutely. So, I really can't say anything more than that, Joe. My heart goes out to Alex and his crew and everybody who frequented VEP. It's one of those casualties, and it's really sad. He's a solid dude. He's been a long-standing player in the tournament scene and as a proprietor of paintball as well. So we're really saddened to hear of the loss to the community. But we know we're definitely going to see you around, and we'll see you later.
Yeah.
Alex,
essentially, run and say.
Always be a rock star to us.
Always be a rock star. Yes,
Always be a rock star.
Hey, we have a couple more people joining in. We have some bearded fellow. Mad Frog?
Yo, what is up, gentlemen, out there in Kanananander?
We're only a couple hours from you.
Yeah,
I know you are.
We're like 3 hours from you, one border, and a whole lot different COVID-19 propaganda, if you will.
You know what? I have to say that happily, we are at an event. We are out here at Global Conquest, having a good old time. We're all being, a little safe, but I think we're kind of over this whole thing.
Now, I was just talking to Brandon Page, and he said that you were sucking it up this weekend.
Sucking it up like what? Like sucking up all the gold off the field? Bringing in all the chips? Yeah, I guess if you're talking that way, yeah.
Can you see me?
Say hi.
Hi, I miss you. Love
Hey,
you.
all right, Mama. so my question to you, Mad Frog, is why couldn't you and Brandon share a screen? You guys are at the same damn event.
Yeah, you know what? He's like someplace over there. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you that competitive that you guys can't
He's
get
on-
together?
He's on Russia. I'm the Queen of England this weekend. So,
Nice.
Ooh.
Oh, there. I
Could you,
just see
could you
Brand-
give
oh,
us a wave? A queen. Oh, very nice.
I am the big
Very-
bad Russian. You don't mess with me.
Good, nice wave.
Yeah.
So how's everybody doing out there? We're having a good time out here. It's actually a good event. We got some decent amount of people showed up.
Yeah, so thanks for rubbing it in our face.
Yeah, I wish you guys could be here. I mean, this whole situation's crazy. We need to. Hopefully, everybody can get past it healthy and go on with our lives and get back to a normal.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's really encouraging to watch you guys, and you guys are. We hate you guys right now, honestly, because you guys seem to be having such a great time, and I'm glad you guys are in an event. Hopefully, you guys are staying safe, and we're hoping that we can follow suit and eventually get some games going as well. So we're ridiculously jealous. We hate you right now, but I'm sure that'll pass once our floodgates open up.
As soon as they open up that border, you guys aren't that far away. So
Yes.
Yeah.
hey, it's always a possibility. We'll get our butts out there again.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Really miss it.
You will.
So we have all the way from Turkmenistan, we have Effie. Effie, what do you think of Mad Frog's white beardness? Do you think that's sacrilegious, or you think it's cool?
No, I like it. Definitely good. I still got a ways to go, and I don't think I'll get.
I actually just cut it. I grabbed a hold of it about this far and just trimmed it off because the wife doesn't like it as much as I do.
Yeah.
He's actually cut it off before for charity.
Yeah, actually, that's right. I think we raised like $600 at the cancer benefit for me to shave it off.
Yeah.
You're right.
Nice.
Then people that raise,
12 minutes.
yeah.
In
Then people,
12 minutes.
Yes.
oh, and it's
Yeah.
also nice to see Josh Subizabrickus. Hopefully, he's able to connect to us tonight. Josh, are you there?
Yeah. I'm unconnecting tonight. So.
You're
And he's apparently
unconnected.
he's had the best day of his life. Yeah.
Do you
pretty
think that
excited.
maybe having children is a good idea? Yeah.
I'll let you know when it's over.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's never over.
Yeah.
It's never over.
It's never over.
Effie, don't you have like 17 children? Isn't that the Turkish way?
No, we got to. We're more modern.
Oh, you're more modern.
Very good.
Mad Frog, Effie's in Turkey, in Istanbul,
Okay.
Turkey. He plays paintball in Istanbul, Turkey. And he's joined us the last several Saturday nights for some behind the bunker, whatever we do here on Saturday nights.
Yeah. Actually, that's one of the things that's really been cool about this whole situation, I guess, if you could say it, is there's a lot more of us getting out and doing shows, and everybody's communicating a lot. There's a lot going on. You know, at least we're keeping ourselves busy.
Yeah,
That's true.
we've had about 1 million people through our show in the last month or so. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've had Bud Orr and Tom Kay, and we've had all kinds of different people, right? Like, it's been fun talking to everybody in the industry, but now we just want to play paintball and talk paintball, right? So,
Honestly, I didn't know if I was going to really be missing the paintball aspect of it. I just wanted to be hanging out with everybody again. All these guys from these different teams. This is such a social. It is. It's these scenario games we go to are such a social event. I missed it. I mean, being locked up for 3, 4, whatever weeks we've been, I don't even know anymore.
yeah.
Right.
It's been nuts.
Yeah.
Luckily things for us. Hi, Brandon. Luckily things for us have changed around a bit, and we've gotten a lot more stuff opened, and I'm working again.
Okay, I've got a bit of a problem here, Mad Frog. Your carpet don't seem to match their drapes. What is with your pants and your jersey? That's like a whole different wrong pattern here.
These are my most comfortable PJ pants. Leave me alone. I just spent all day yelling at people out in the field.
Oh, very good. So who did win?
Oh no, we've got another day.
Oh, so you're not.
Yeah.
So you're rubbing it even further in our face. Very good. That's fine.
Yep. It's a 2-day event.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah,
good for you. Well, good for you. Hopefully the weather is good and you guys have a good day.
So far, so good. And I got to tell you, even if the rest of the weather went to crap, I'm so happy to be out and with everybody again. This is a positive. Now, hopefully, 2 weeks from now, I'm not laid up in bed and we're all good.
Yeah. It's going to take you a while to recover from playing paintball because you haven't done it in such a long time.
I'm out. Oh man, so out of it. And you know what? My birthday's Monday too, so I'm like I'm old.
You're
I'm
very
done.
old.
I'm like, what am I doing? I'm running around the woods with 28-year-olds.
So
okay,
now, are you in the high risk category?
I could be an AARP. I'll tell you that. I guess. Oh man.
Do you have an AED in the bus just in case? One of those defibrillator machines?
No, we just got jumper cables.
That's
Jumper
just
cables.
for fun. Yeah.
Yeah, jumper cables on the nipples for fun. That'll work as a defibrillator too.
Hey, is that a misspelled sticker?
As a matter of fact, it is.
Good
yes.
for you.
I have a memory spot on my. I don't know. Yeah, you can see it great. On my bus here. Misspelled was a very good friend of mine.
You should have a doctor look at that.
I've also got Viking, number 65, and a couple. These guys are paintball players from us. Unfortunately, we've lost them sooner than we should have, and
yeah,
they're
misspelled.
always with us in staging.
Yeah, misspelled
Always
used to
with us
work
in
with us on the show for a while there.
Yeah. Man, now I don't want to get in the bummer of a story. Misspelled and I did all kinds of stuff together, all kinds of graphic stuffs back and forth. I think we did something with Behind the Bunker 2 together, and I had never physically met him. The event he passed at, that was my first event physically meeting him.
Yeah.
It is a bummer.
So,
Bummer.
So you don't feel responsible at all?
No. It's Florida was responsible.
Yeah.
It was he worked hard, man. He went at it. Unfortunately, yeah. Oh well. Bummer. Anyways, okay. On to something a little more cheerful. Yeah.
Well, let's talk to Effie for a quick second here. Effie, are you back in? Is anything changed where you are? Is Turkey opening up at all?
Yeah, definitely. Since the 1st of June, we've actually been, opening up little by little. Flights are starting back up again, and restaurants are open, and this is the first weekend we didn't have our curfew. Not curfew, mandatory stay at home. So this was the first weekend that we could actually go out, and do whatever, and. We do have a practice, like a multiple team practice next weekend.
Nice.
So it is opening up. Just being careful about social distancing, but also not everything is opening immediately. It's like they have like a 5-10 step plan all the way till the end of the year and even into next year.
Jeez.
Now, Effie, how far away is your field that you practice and play at? Is it in Istanbul, or is it where? How far away is it?
Basically here, we don't. That now we were in a different state, but basically you have the city of Istanbul, and then you have what are called the land of Istanbul or the state of Istanbul. So basically, it is in Istanbul, the state, but it's not in Istanbul, the city, because it's just a very expansive city. But it's like a 30-minute drive, so it's still considered part of Istanbul, obviously. So think about like how you have northern New York. Up north, residential areas, etc. So it's still in New York, obviously, but it's not in New York City.
Yeah. Do you, pardon my lack of ignorance here, but are there camels afoot where you are?
No, those are the Arabs.
Okay.
Okay. Todd, did you just ask that?
I'm asking. You know what I mean? I would like to know.
There's something I'll Google as well.
I usually my turban off before I join your show. So
yes.
Your carpet is doing a hell of a job of just hovering in one spot too, Effie.
Why don't we just restart this whole show?
What? It wasn't a terrible question. It was a good one.
It was a terrible question.
Effie, I'm a Google Maps guy. Tell me the name of the city or place where the field is, so I can Google it.
Let's see. If you spell caravan with a K, caravan with a K in the beginning, so Karavan, and then put another A at the end, so it's Caravana and Paintball. So if you look at Caravana Paintball in Istanbul, I can put it in the chat for you as well.
Hey, no free plugs.
So I see it. It's temporarily closed. It looks like it's in a fairly green and lush. Is it a flat area or mountainous or what is? I can't tell from the
hilly. Lots of valleys in between, lots of hills, but a great place to play. Mainly fields, so it's almost like a natural playing ground all around.
Yeah.
So then, where is Istanbul from? Where would it be, north or south?
No, it would be southeast. The center of the city would be southeast of that location. So just go towards.
So if you can please put that in the chat, I would like to look them up myself because I'd really like to see if they have any merchandise. I'd like to get a T-shirt from Turkish Paintball.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, just something I take from around the world. I think I'm going to start my collection in terms of T-shirts from around the world. Thanks for that.
It's close to the Black Sea. It's not very far from the Black Sea.
Yeah. As the city expands, obviously, down in the coast, so in the Aegean Sea and the Bosphorus Strait region, there's not really much place to play. We used to have one field on top of a roof of a factory. That was great because it was a little windy, but it was great because it was right in the middle of the city.
Sorry, you're playing on a roof during a windy day.
Well, just think of it. If you're living in Manhattan and you get to play, like you just cross over and get to play paintball in the middle of the city. So it was great because, in such a big city where like 14, 15, maybe 17 million people, it's bigger than a lot of European countries. So in terms of people, and we do have trouble recruiting people because obviously if they live on the other side of town, that's like a 3-4 hour drive in traffic to get to practice. So it is a challenge.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
very good.
Crazy.
Now, your Terrible Turks team, is that more of forgive me, I forget. Is that more of a scenario team or is that a speedball team?
No, the Terrible Turks are a speedball team. I'm also with SAS, the Silent Assassin Squad, Turkey chapter, for more woods ball and milsim, magfed, etc. But yeah, the Terrible Turks are a purely speedball team.
Very good.
Now I have a question. Like everybody else, I have lots of questions. Now we had the fellows from Australia on, and they have restrictions as far as what they can have for mag-fed guns by law. They're allowed the Stormer and the MG100, which are the two newest. They're the only two mag-fed guns allowed in Australia. Is there any restrictions to mag-fed styles of guns in Turkey?
No. We have mag-fed. We have mag-fed guns. No restriction as long as you get the proper. As long as the company is selling it, get the proper permission while importing. So it's basically it still does go to the police department or the whatever national police, and they give the okay for it, kind of thing. But if it's too realistic, they do ask for the orange paint, or some players choose to put it on just so they don't get questioned a lot. But apart from that, I have a mag-fed marker and I've had no issues carrying it, playing with it, etc. Traveling to games on flights. It does occasionally, like last time I was coming to the US, I had like 4 markers with me for repair, coming to sputters, etc. And I went through one door of the airport, and they saw it, and I showed them my jerseys. I said, "Look here, like this, I'm a paintball player. I'm taking these to get repaired. These are team guns." And they don't really like to take a lot of responsibility. So he immediately called in and he was like, "Oh, what should I do?" So he's like, "Okay, you need to go and give these as firearms." So basically, here in Turkey, you go to the police and you hand over your firearm when you're entering the airport, and it gets transported separately to the pilots, and then they give it to the police back wherever you land. And I said, "Listen, like if you do this, and I'm going on a layover over Germany, so I stop in Germany, switch aircraft and switch carriers. I said, if you do this, I'm going to lose these guns because it's just going to be lost in the transfer or whatever kind of thing. He's like, no, I'm sorry. You got to go out, walk out the door and have like two 6-year-old kids, 3 a.m. in the morning with my wife and like 5-6 luggages going to visit my family in the U.S. And she said, I'm sorry. And then he said, like, you got to walk 300 yards and walk in the other door. Walk 300 yards, walked in the other door. And then I just basically didn't say anything there. I just went through security and they were like, oh, what are these? And I told them the same thing I told the guys at the other gate. And he was like, oh, okay, fine. Go ahead, go through. So I didn't even give him in. And then I basically circled around that other entrance, so he didn't see me and ask how fast I got through. So
Good for
it
you.
is challenging when they don't know.
Good for you. So Effie, you play
Good old
for the
Turkish switch.
Yeah, you play for the terrible Turks. Speaking of terrible jerks, we have Tim Miller back.
You're a
Nice
cannibal.
transition.
Well, I saw Tim sign in, and I thought, wow. And then
And we're hoping that a member hasn't fallen off of you.
No, it's still there.
You're
Still there.
good.
did you check
Actually,
again this
yeah,
morning
yeah.
like you normally do?
Yeah, notice. I thought I'd bring this conversation up a little notch. It sounded a bit boring, so I thought it's best time to jump on. Morning,
Little-
Effie.
Yeah, a little boring,
Morning, Tim.
but at least you bring the eye candy. So we're all going to be staring at you.
Hey, that's it. What are you
Gazing
doing?
at you.
So,
Very
how is
good.
everybody?
Good. We a little
Good.
better this week because we look a little more fashionable. I don't know about anybody else, but I have a brand new T-shirt that I'd like to sport at some point.
Nice.
Yeah.
Obviously, the boy's been someone's been busy sending stuff. I heard he sent stuff over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you're-
he said one of us, and it's kind of a surprise to us because I haven't opened my package yet, but he said one of us will have his package in it.
Oh, I know what that's going to be.
So I opened mine immediately, Tim, looking for a budgie smuggler, but it wasn't there. So,
So, yeah, but when he sent the package to me, the package turned up and my sister got it. And his sister's opened it up and here's a pair of his undies in there. So there you go.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
are you sure? Are you sure it was addressed to you?
Oh golly gosh.
Golly gosh. I will tell you though, Tim.
I have to say, I was very disappointed in mine. I opened it up. I very carefully peeled the corner open, stuck my nose in there. I took a deep breath, and it didn't smell like Vegemite at all. Like nada.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to send some care packages out.
Well,
It's a
So
great shirt, but
I sincerely appreciate the Aussie generosity. So Steve from Hot Shots and NXL Australia, we appreciate the shirts. And as I was hinting to everybody else, if you have any shirts you want to send our way, we'll take them.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. If you guys are trying to sign in, a lot of you are using your first name. Like, I'll be honest with you, someone just signed in with the name Carla. Fool me once, shame on me. But I'm not. I need you to give me your first and last name, and I'll be able to make sure that it's you guys in the live chat. Although I wouldn't mind seeing a Carla show again tonight, but I think that would go against all of our terms of service on Facebook. So.
Yeah, Carla had the sweetest Adam's apple.
After we finished that.
And really big hands.
Tim, you look really sexy.
So sorry. So Tim, you had some unfortunate stuff happen to you. I saw you posted with some no good nicks trying to start the game early.
Oh yeah, dirty mongrel. So it's cost me nearly $1,000 to build new gates. So, but they didn't get in. They tried to ram the gates down, and but I think they may have been looking for me caravan. I got a nice big 4-year-old caravan sitting at the back, but I think that's what they were trying to get, but they never got it. So hence the new gates. But yeah, dirty dogs.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say something real quick. I heard my buddy Tim's voice on here and say, "Well, what's up from down under, right?"
That's it. Anything's up. Anything's up. Like me, I've just got out of bed. The wife said, "Aren't you getting on the show this morning?" Well, what time is it?
Yeah, you need to go back and get some more beauty rest, my friend.
Oh, I know. But you know what? Being a trophy husband is very tough.
Yes.
Yeah.
I bet.
And so, Tim, are you guys open now and you're running?
I had my first game yesterday.
Okay, how did that go?
Yeah, everyone was happy. That's like if you to make an MG with a stock on it and make it look good with a couple more mags, you're looking at probably $1,200 Australian.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. So
we've been teasing about this, and we talked about this obviously with our friends from around the world. What were you doing in terms of hygiene routines and social distancing to make customers feel comfortable to come out and play at your field?
The best thing is all they got to do is point a gun. That's enough social distancing from a paintball gun. So, but as they signed in, no different to the shop sort of. We had the hand sanitizer around. They signed the waiver forms went up and parted with their hard-earned dollars at the counter. So it's good to have more repeat offenders at the front counter again. And then out on the fields, we had the sanitizer out there, and they just come in and clean their guns. So they clean their own goggles now. We normally used to clean the goggles. So I was more worried about Hep A or Hep B as opposed to anything else with the cleaning people's lenses. But we've been doing it 30 years, and I'm just as ugly as I was when I started. So it's all good. It's a bit more grayer.
It's no fun when you insult yourself, Tim. That's our job.
I work hard at it. It's really good. I want to beat you to the punch. That's it.
Yeah.
They had their guns, the goggles. Everybody was running around the bush. And really, I think it's just more the hype. Sorry, I know it's boring. I've got one of those. I'm going to get it out.
No, you said everyone's looking around the bush, so I yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got it. Yep, done to it. Everything was fine. Then at the end of the day, they all sat at the same tables. There's so much for social distancing then, but they were all one group that sat there and just talked about it, and then they left. It was really good to get back into it. So
yeah.
You put measures in place, and people just go around them like they do in shopping centres.
Yeah. Now,
how many people did you have?
I only had 14 people yesterday. So yeah, that was all good. All good. That was a start. So yeah, Mossy's had few. He had 50 yesterday. Got 30 today. So, but Norman, my boy, the oldest son, he said to me, it's funny how paintball's gone full circle in 30 years. Because 30 years we had the pump actions, the Titman, the SL68s. Then we went to the semi-autos. Then we tried to get automatics. They wouldn't let them in. Then they let ramping in. Then now we've gone back to mag-fed, which is virtually a pump action again. In 30 years, we've gone full circle to where we started and shooting with the mags. So, but yeah, I think that's going to be a different strategy. I think paintball's gone back to where it's a strategy game. If you have a mag-fed games as opposed to just shooting the crap out of anybody with 200 rounds in your hopper and then load up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think anybody can chime in with that. Tim, I'm just slightly younger than you, but I've got a little more salt in my pepper these days. But that's why I enjoy MagFed. A little bit more tactical, a slower paced game potentially, and you don't have to worry about being chewed up by millions of paintballs in the air, right? So that appeals to me. Wondering if anybody else who's playing MagFed in the Zoom room right now would talk about why it appeals to them.
Well, I'd like to go ahead, Wes. You've been quiet, surprisingly quiet.
Oh, I sometimes forget I'm in the show because I'm like watching the show.
Yeah, me too.
But I mean, I'm a pump player primarily, so I just dialed in my MagFed marker this weekend with the Karmatech scope, and I'm starting to be afraid I don't want to shoot round ball anymore. So, because I really liked what I was able to do with it, and I've always liked playing limited paint. So there's a sort of allows more for movement. That was my thing with So I never really gave up playing pump, even though I was kind of there when it kind of was past the Nelsons and going into, direct feeds and side feeds and things like that. And then, boom, semi-auto surge hit, if everybody remembers that, even all the Tippmann clones like the Scorpion and things like that popped up. And I just was like, my team back then, we had a rule like we'd never give up playing pump. We still played semi-auto, but we would play pump once in a while. So, yeah.
Pump keeps you good.
To MagFed.
See, when in the early days, for when the semi-automatics came out, the ban in New South Wales, because firearms just said no more, and I only had 10 of them at the time, and one of the fields in Sydney had 150, and you're trying to work out how it's fair across the board, but they wouldn't let me buy any more. But then I was able to sneak some of the old Stingrays in. Anybody played with those things? Oh, man, they were a nightmare.
Oh, they weren't. They're fantastic, Tim. Shame on you.
When they worked, they were a good little money spinner. But just O-rings, just playing with O-rings to get them to go. But and that was the best I could get was a Stingray.
It's called maintenance. You can't just throw it in a box and hope that the next rental will use it. Yeah. Talk to Joe.
You don't use you don't use Vegemite on your O-rings. That is not.
That's how you make them darker.
Yeah,
they just need topping up. So I don't know. I pull my 98s down after each game. They get pulled apart, relued, cleaned.
Do you ever use the word "my"? Tim, do you ever use the word "my"? Yeah, because you pulled me Tippmanns off the shelf. See, normally we'd say "my," but
yeah, that's like your A's and our A's different. It's like your ZX. We had the Kawasaki motorbike, so we called it the ZX 900, and he's called it a ZX 900. Yeah. So it's pronunciation. Mine is the biggest dickers.
And this is the last time Tim's on the show because you keep insulting him, Todd.
He's dished himself worse than me. He's insulting himself worse than I am.
I make his look good. Look at him there.
Yeah. Oh.
So I'm interested. I'm more interested in how they played paintball on that roof, Effie.
Yeah, and how bad was the wind? And how did you know if you were out of bounds?
No, I mean it was basically a regular field, obviously, like with netting all around, and the biggest problem they had was actually getting the netting up, and then because obviously if you've got a lot of wind, it does create a lot of drag, but apart from that, like it was really bad. Obviously, we wouldn't do it, but it was great. I mean, I loved it. We never had an issue where like you had so much wind that you couldn't play, because obviously we knew beforehand if it was going to be a windy day or a rainy day, whatever. Yeah. But I was just looking at photos from back in the day, from back in 2015, where we had tournaments up there. So it was a big loss for us.
As a field owner, the one noise that I hate the most, and Joe and I heard it a couple weeks ago when we were out at the field, is the noise of wind going through mesh. It has this certain harmonic sound, and it's the sound of like the mesh stretching and the wind hitting it, and it drives me nuts because we've lost so many nets due to high winds where we're standing there watching this 20-foot high mesh just rip 150 feet down the edge like a toilet paper piece being ripped at the perforations in like a second, just because a gust of wind came in. And just that noise howling through the mesh, I hate it. It's like something catastrophe is going to happen any second from now.
Yeah, we've had towers fall at tournaments. Basically the netting will actually drag a tower down.
Jeez.
It's scary stuff.
We've had a tournament where it rained 16 inches within the 20 minutes or half an hour that we were there, and we had to get creek pumps to get them out. It was nasty. It was nasty. Sorry, Tim, I missed that one. Hey, Alex, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks, Todd. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Alex.
You mean you're doing well?
So I wanted to just quickly, before we chat with Alex, I'll go back to Effie. I think it was a really good point and a really good sort of visual for myself to consider how great it would be in an inner city to be able to go on a skyscraper, play some paintball, and even in a dead zone to look out over the landscape of what's going on below you, right? So I think it's a wonderful idea that.
But what happens if you suck so bad and you're on the edge of that building, looking over the edge?
That's when your whole team starts chanting, "Don't do it! You have so much to live for." There's always the other point.
Effie, we believe in you. You can make it.
Effie, I want to know if the roof where you guys played paintball is the same roof that Liam Neeson in Taken 2 was running along.
No, I don't think so.
That's where he jumped off the roof and landed on a camel.
Taken 2 allegedly takes place in Istanbul, Turkey.
So what you're saying is there's more than one roof in Istanbul.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Actually, 3, I think, as far as I know. I can't show you the picture of the roof because obviously I'm a participant only. But it's we love that field and it was a big loss, but life goes on.
Yeah. Yep. So we've got Alex in the live chat. Alex is a newly retired from the industry of paintball. You got to look at it that way, Alex. You have to look at the fact that you've got your weekends free, my friend.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, finally got it free, and I think it was the time to go for me now, and it was a very hard decision, and a lot of people saw my video already, what I put out there, and it was one of the hardest things. Playing since 1986, being in that industry since 1993 till now, and again being also with the Rockstar, starting all with that in Canada, with the affiliate with the guys from the United States, and then me taking over and going to Asia and everything else. It was time consuming, but I loved it. I had, I still have the passion and dedication, but with the COVID-19 coming in, we have so many restrictions here at Vaughan. Just talking with the MPP and the bylaw officers, it would be pretty hard for us to, actually make money this year.
Yeah. Well, it's
so hard.
It's too bad you couldn't have gotten out while you still had your looks, but that train left the station a long time ago. How is the whole area of Vaughan must be affected pretty badly? You guys got a massive mall up there. It's got to just have tumbleweeds going through it.
Well, you know what? You got only the stores that are open from the from roadside, and that's about it, right?
Yeah,
but,
that's true. And Canada's Wonderland there, which is our
hurting bad, especially all the sport complex and things like that,
Yeah, but what about Wonderland? Like they can't see people there.
I can't even use Wonderland.
Yeah,
they're hurting, and they can't even open. And I have a season's pass, but I got it next year though. It's free now.
Jeez.
So maybe they would consider running a game now, and that's always been one of my fantasy fields, playing at Canada's Wonderland.
Well, let me tell you this. I've always wanted to have paintball at Canada's Wonderland, putting it in the parking lot over there. You know what I mean? But who knows? But listen, it's not a farewell. It's almost like a little break, and just taking it easy for a bit. And thank you very much, Todd, for inviting me to come. Once everything goes back positive, the hosts over there at the OPL, and Joe, I like that one also as a general. Man, I'll bring my armies still, and I can put them in the front lines.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Think of how great I'm going to look if you're sitting beside me in the OPL broadcast booth. I think it'd be great. I think you could add a lot. I think you could add a lot to the commentary, and I think half the players in the league. You know what I mean? Like most of everybody. So Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to if the waters are too choppy for some sea doing, you can come out and.
Absolutely. You know what? I think my wife will let me come out once in a while now. Because paintball is always going to be in my heart, and I'll always want to do it. So, but I'll take a little break for a bit, and but definitely you'll see me still out there with Rockstar's still here, and I have guys that want to take over, but I won't be the face anymore. You know what I mean?
Thank God.
That's the sad part. I know.
Yeah.
Hey, Todd, no more.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Alex, I don't know if you were listening earlier. We gave you a little bit of a shout out before you came on at the beginning of the show. So.
Oh, thank you very much, and I appreciate it. And I've already got a lot of emails from the United States, all over Ontario already, which is just awesome. And I'll start doing all my I guess liquidating and doing all the pricing. The wife and I are gonna be out in the field on Friday, and I have a whole bunch of guys coming to the field next Sunday helping me, unfortunately, to chop down all the all the poles, nets, and put everything all together.
God, what a weird, okay, let's look at Alex's life, for example. So not only is Alex unfortunately closing up his shop, he works at an international airport in Toronto, one of the busiest airports, if not the busiest in Canada for sure. And then this COVID happens. Like, your world has been thrown upside down. How's the airport? Like, what's going on there?
Well, you can imagine with the airport, we're used to about between 800 to 900 flights daily. Now we went down to the low to about 65 flights daily, but now it's starting to pick up a bit. Now we're at about 120.
Wow. I have to admit, I'm super jealous, and I almost messaged you. I was going to be willing to drive to Toronto if you told me when the Anton, I can't remember what the name of the plane was, the world's largest plane was going to take off again. I wanted to see that. That thing is spectacular. I'm a plane junkie, so.
That's massive. And the last time that came to Toronto, actually, that was in 2014, I believe. So I saw that then, and actually I missed it because I forgot what I was doing.
Yeah. That's
when
I
wasn't going to miss it this year.
Yeah, that was the trip. It brought my ego. They needed such a large plane, but yeah, that was cool. I would have loved to have come to see that. That was Jesus. And then,
it's massive.
And then yesterday, Joe and I mentioned it to Joe. I heard this noise and I looked up and there's this plane just jetting across the sky. So I quickly went on Flight Tracker and it was some sort of military fighter jet. Joe, maybe you know what it is offhand, and I texted Joe. I said, "Did you see that?" And I guess he had heard it take off as well. But there's been some with the limited amount of planes in the sky. When there is one, you kind of take notice now.
There's Warbird Society at the Waterloo Airport. They have a Mako. That's probably the one that you saw.
I have it here because I sent Joe the thing. It's an Aero Vodo Chodli 39C.
They got a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I've got an accent.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just not pronouncing it right, but it's all camouflaged up and looking cool. So
Alex,
wait, sorry.
When you started playing in '86, Alex, what type of gun did you start with?
Sorry, I didn't hear you there.
When you started playing, because I started in '86 as well, playing paintball.
So shoot.
When you started, what was the gun you were using then?
You know what? I can still. I'm still trying to remember. But we were using the CO2 cartridges and lab goggles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't remember.
Rifle? Was it the rifle, the bolt action rifle?
It was first we had the pistols, and then we had the rifle one. And then
Sheridan, Benjamin Sheridan.
Yeah.
Bold
I know it was before the it had to be before the Sheridan PGPs. You know what I mean? But it was something, and I wish I still had those back in the day.
Tim, didn't you start with a modified didgeridoo?
Mate, we were spitting toilet paper out of bloody out of pens at the start.
Alex, Tim
Yeah.
is in Australia, and Effie is in Istanbul, Turkey, and Wes
Oh.
Shockley's in
Nebraska.
Nebraska. And
Nebraska, yeah.
I'm not sure where James is.
Was that your gang sign, Wes, that you just...
Yep, pretty much.
So Alex, we chatted a little earlier in the show before you tuned in. So we, you know what, our hearts go out to you. I know your heart was in the field and the sport and everything. You're smiling right now, but I know there's got to be a single tear rolling down when the cameras aren't rolling. So,
Well, trust me, Mike.
I
Go ahead,
do want to say,
sorry.
you know, so we gave a shout out. It wasn't a eulogy. It was definitely a see you later. So we appreciate your contribution not only to the sport of paintball in Ontario, but the tournament scene as well. And I know that, you know, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, and it'll be both foot back in soon. We wish you the best of luck. And I know that you're never going to leave the sport. Unfortunate circumstances right now, and my heart goes out to you and you and your team. So
That's slightly different from the beat it deadbeat you said before.
that was actually to you, but I realized you were
Yeah,
the
I'm
host.
sorry.
So yeah, so Alex, you know, I think the whole community, and you're looking at an international community right now, are supporting you and with you guys, and wish you guys all the best.
Yeah.
You know what? I appreciate all the kind words from everybody, and you know, around the world too as well. You know, the furthest one was from Brunei all the way out in Asia, and that's pretty far. And you know, I've really got a call from Malaysia, Thailand, Japan, and Taiwan already. And you know, I've touched so many hearts. You know, visiting a lot of you know, meeting a lot of friends in Asia, especially with the tournament scene and bringing the teams out there. You know. It's you know, it's always going to be in my heart and things like that, and I'm glad to be part of you know, growing the sport of paintball here in Ontario and just bringing it out there. But you know, it's still painful, but I'll get over it. You know, and I guess I'm not too emotional now. Is because I have my kids behind me and my wife is listening and everybody else. So it's hard, but when you're alone, you just think about it, right? And and it hurts, right?
It does, but think of those pristine water days when you're out there and you go, what day is it? It's Saturday. Oh, is it really? Yeah.
Well,
still live on.
Yeah.
It goes on, and you know what, paintball, and I can't wait to see the next level of paintball.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be there. I want to see it, and I you know, I can say, yeah, I did it. I've done it. And, you know, the younger kids are our next generation. You know, I had my youngest daughter, and she loves paintball. Then I got my nephew, too, as well. That's getting into it. So it's more going to be like a family thing. You know what I mean? Going out to all paintball fields around, you know, even bring them down to the States, Asia, especially Todd's field over there, because I love his field. Well, everybody else, too.
It's kind of like how you pass crackdown between family members. Yeah.
I got my daughter over there. She's probably going, "Oh my God, like his head's getting bigger."
I'm sure you're going to see the next step of paintball, but unfortunately, Tim won't. He's just too old. But you know,
Heavy shots fired from Turkey.
Oh, there's going to be a Gallipoli comment in a minute.
Oh no, I respect that one. Don't you worry, because yeah, they've got the wheel track wheelchair, so I don't give a shit what happens.
that's usually what happens when you get old and senile. It just passes you by.
2 shots. What's going on? I thought you were a peaceful country.
I can handle rejection.
Oh, I love how this show is so encouraging on one hand and then just... Yeah,
grow the sport. We hate you all.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
James, you've said nothing. James, you've said nothing. You've sat there all morning. What's this?
James, does your microphone work, buddy?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. James actually talks.
I am listening to you guys.
Oh yeah.
I'm working.
Just to let you know, James over there, he's a really good friend, and he's been part of the Rockstar camp for the past 2 years, and he's going to be helping out while I stay out of the scene for a bit.
The word you're looking for is transition.
That's right.
I wondered where you were going there with trains.
No. Well, you have to let Alex go through his transition to wherever he is moving on to.
Maybe becoming Carla or whatever.
Well, that might not be the.
You know what? This is what week number.
Yeah.
This is like week number 4 with Effie, and all of a sudden he's really punchy and like just taking shots at everyone.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I better shut my camera off quickly before I'm the next target.
But really, who's going to go after him? Oh, I'm going to go to Turkey and I'm going to go get him. No.
Oh, I'll go on that rooftop and play paintball against you.
Liam Nelson.
Yeah.
We're not going there for the taking. We're going there to get you.
I just want to tell James, it's not a spectator sport, Join in.
Yeah, wait till he gets on the field. You'll hear him then.
Yeah. Don't run because you're only going to be bruised and tired.
Oh, well, we should probably start wrapping up here, ladies and gentlemen. This has been our Saturday night quarantine show.
Nice.
You guys have had your opportunity. All you need to do is click the link and you guys can come into the live show. But we'll try to do this maybe next week. We'll figure it out. Depends on how life goes in where we are. But certainly, if we do it again, it'll be next Saturday, and you guys will be able to chime in and get on the show here.
And don't forget to join us on Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard for Behind the Bunker normal, traditional, regular.
I'll see you there on Monday.
Extra
Nice.
tasty, crispy Monday nights.
Extra tasty.
Yeah, there you go. Wasn't it? Didn't KFC used to have regular recipe and new extra tasty, crispy?
Okay, Todd, you're trying to wrap up the show. We're going to food talk for the next half an hour. I promise you.
We can.
Where's the best Philly cheesesteak?
Well, let's start with Wes. Wes, thank you for being on the show tonight, sir.
Thank you. I'm quiet like James, so James.
Yeah.
Is cool.
Well, that's okay. We'll leave you guys to talk when the show's over. Effie, thank you for being on the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
It's always nice being able to meet people from the other side of the world. Something tells me he's probably not from Turkey. He probably is just from like SoCal or Florida or something. He's just putting it on us. And and James, thank you for being on the show. There you go. Thank you. And Timmy, you need to sign on early, my friend. We only had 20 minutes of Timmy tonight. I mean, it was nice. Don't get me wrong, but
Thank you for being on the show today. Have some porridge.
Oh, and Alex, thank you for being on the show. Thanks for checking in. And
thank you very much. Pleasure.
And watch for more Alex Medina guys live on OPL broadcast when that happens this year. Hopefully I'll be able to twist his arm. Josh, looks like we've lost him again. He was going back to his thing he was working on. Gavin, thank you for being on the show tonight.
Wonderful to be here, folks, and I'm so happy that you guys joined us. I am a little worried about Effie, and maybe he can we can get some referrals to counseling for him because he's an angry man this evening. I don't know what the hell happened, but we certainly a little bit, yes, out of his Turkish delight, if you will. And we appreciate everybody joining us this evening, and make sure you get that like and share. And as my friend Joseph said, join us Monday for the real show. Less anger, more paintball. Thanks for joining us.
Very good. Thank you, Joe, for being on the show.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll see everybody again until Monday night. Pew pew.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye. We'll see you Monday night.